Hello everyone, welcome to Life Boost here. Please follow and subscribe to my content here. I'm really excited to talk about my topic with you guys. I'm here to speak with a man by the name of Julian Ramsuchit. Julian Ramsuchit is a professional athlete currently at this time and also a professional model. And he's also sponsored by Mutant Mass Products. I'd really like to introduce my friend here, Julian Ramsuchit. How you doing, man?
Hey Ryan, man, it's good to be here, dude. And you know what, man, I really appreciate you, speaking about myself, but I do appreciate the words, man. You're a good friend, man. I'm glad I can be on your podcast. I'm glad I can, help you out along your way, and hopefully everything in your endeavors with this podcast goes. But, the biggest touching point that I really enjoyed about it is just the fact that, we're going to be talking about mental health. And, if I can inspire or help anybody along the way just to, get their mind or put them in some type of direction, I definitely would like to see that happen, man. I feel like there's a lot of people that, don't have that level of direction nowadays. And I don't preach and say I'm perfect or anything like that, man. But, to be honest with you, it's just like everybody's always learning. And the moment when you feel like, you can't learn anymore, man, there's always more to be learned.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to be able to speak with you today, right?
Yeah.
And be able to talk about mental, physical, and spiritual health on a very good level. And that's like what my channel is all about. My channel is trying to create and save lives, and I have a big passion for mental health and trying to make people feel more accepted in society and people to feel like they can accomplish their day-to-day goals. Because I found nowadays it's super hard to manage your goals. It's hard to manage your tasks and your dreams. And a lot of people are having issues with this, but people just don't want to admit it. People just don't want to say, hey, how do I actually do this? Instead of us just saying, go work out or go do this or go do that, we're actually going to be giving you guys some ample advice. And I really think that you should take in a lot of this because he is offering great advice. He's offering a lot of positive change. He's offering a lot of great things within the fitness industry. And his background, being in the gym for so many years and developing his art, sculpture, and his character of his well-being, And it's nice to see people in society nowadays putting the time in for themselves and putting the time in to love who they are. And I really do think that you really exemplify that. It's nice to see you really open up the world of fitness, understanding that it's okay to love what you love doing. And I've been seeing the success that you've been going through, and I'm happy and proud. And I think it's awesome. I think it's really amazing that you've reached your goals and you're reaching what you want to do in life. And not a lot of people really want to wake up and say, hey, what do I want to do to better myself? What do I want to do to motivate myself to be better? And I think you're going to be the man to share that story.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Ryan. Like I said, man, the one biggest thing, man, that I definitely want people to take away from this interview is just love what you love doing, man. It's like what you said. Don't love doing what you're doing, then really reevaluate your life, man, through journaling, through reading, through just self-experiencing, man. Some people go through a lot of different things in life, man, and just because your parents tell you to do something or your friends tell you to do something, that doesn't necessarily mean you should go in the direction in that way, right? It's like when I was growing up, man, in small town, I used to do musicals, for example, and I used to do a lot of vocals. I was in a band. That's one thing that I pushed myself in doing. I still enjoy doing vocals and stuff, but one of the biggest takeaways is that my parents didn't always support it. That was one of my first lessons in life. Life will always give you lessons, and one of the first ones was I didn't follow that passion when I knew I could have done really well. It was funny, man. I used to have a drama teacher in high school. You know what his nickname was for me, man? My nickname to him for me was Superstar. He just always called me Superstar. I just laugh. I just laugh at him, man, because I really gave a lot of passion, and that's the thing too, man. A lot of people want the easy way. No one wants to give that 110% anymore. No one wants to give that focus, you know what I mean? No one wants to give that drive anymore, that raw personality, because some people are just they don't know how to handle their emotions. I don't say don't be emotional. I say you learn how to handle your emotions. That's one thing that I always work on. I'll never say I'm perfect at anything. I still look at myself as just a dude out here that just works out, and you know what I mean, and is thankful for everything that the sponsorship, magazine publishing, like, I will always forever be grateful for me for that. And you know what, man, like, I always appreciate, like, you know, people recognizing me for that, like you do. It just leaves me speechless, man. Like, you know, because I do really honestly wish that everybody could reach this level. But the thing is, man, like, just people just want an easy fix. They want the easy way out. You know what I mean? I never believe in anything but hard work, man. With the culture we live in now, it's like, it's the Insta culture, right? Like the Instagram publishing culture. It's the skip the dishes culture. It's the everything right away culture. Like, I deserve this or I deserve that.
What is a good habit that we could start telling people to improve on? Like, you're talking about the victim card. You're talking about, I don't have this, I don't have that. Just because it's not in front of you now doesn't mean that it's not going to come to you, right? So what would you recommend for this victim card? And what would you recommend them to get them out of that mindset so that they can actually reach for the sky and actually reach for that goal?
I'd say, like, one of the biggest things to get out of, like, that victim mindset, counseling's huge, man. Like, dealing with those traumas that you have in life, man. From a spiritual aspect, people believe in past life traumas. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I believe in too. Going further in depth with that, right? And actually, like, dealing with that, man. Because, you know, for all you know, you have a whole ancestry worth of trauma that you got to deal with, and that's all on you. You know what I mean? Some people like living their life, and I called them earlier, man. I called people NPCs, man, because they just live in this matrix. And it's like, you got to learn to crack that, get out of that victim mindset, and then realize, man, that the world's a fucking lonely place. The world is a lonely place, man. And yeah, you can have your support team around you, but at the same time, man, you really got to understand that it's just you. The moment you start relying on anybody else for anything, it's like, it's good to help out your brothers and your sisters or whatever, but at the same time, man, you got to do them a favor and do yourself a favor, man, and just really put them in the direction where they can leave the nest and fly on their own, right? One thing I always refer to people whenever I, like, buddies that I train and stuff like that, hey, man, just look at me as like the mother bird, and I'm just like teaching you how to fly. And then, you know, when you're out of this nest, man, it's like, I want you to be able to do your own thing. But the thing is, there's too many people are weak-minded. Too many people are, you know, just caught up with social media, and too many people are just caught up with this I deserve this mentality, or like the me mentality, a judgy mentality where it's like, oh, this guy did this, so he obviously like ended up with a body like that. Well, it's like not how it works, man.
Commitment and a lot of goals to really suffer this. Primarily in the fitness industry in particular, they're very keen on your image, and they're very keen on, if this is not perfect, you're not good enough. But in reality, you are. And everybody has different body types, and everybody has different styles. It's just a matter of finding what your style is and really loving it. I think that society has judged too many people to the point where people are now having body image issues and having issues with what they want to love within their body, right? Like, I was 225 pounds at one point, and I lost 50 pounds. And that 50 pounds was just because of my mindset of just saying, I believe in myself, I love who I am, and I'm gonna attack my demons, I'm gonna attack my stressors, I'm gonna attack all these things so that I could just reach that goal of success. I find that people just don't want to put that time in anymore. And the issue is that are having these problems, really trying to excel within their body. The biggest thing is confidence and believing in themselves and actually driving to the point where they're no longer a victim. Playing this victim card, like you said, have the confidence to wake up every day and put the minutes in. Everybody has to put in minutes no matter where you go. Whether if you're in a job, whether if you're in a career, or whatever you're doing, you got to put that time in for yourself. And if you don't, it's going to cause a lot of rainfall.
Yeah, man.
So what would you recommend to people within fitness industries to do moving forward about mental health aspects for people that are in the gym?
I'd say the one biggest aspect, just people in general got to work on when they enter the gym, is realize, hey, man, it's just you against you. And I'll always, and it's funny, man, and, you know, throughout this interview, it's going to sound pretty repetitive, but it's like, that's the only way you're going to get it in people's heads, right? It's literally you versus you. It's not you versus, I see a lot when I go to the gym is like, you know, I'll do my own exercise and I'll have some, you know, kid come up beside me and try to, like, you know, lift heavier weight than me. And it's like, hey, man, like, that is not how you solve your problems. And the biggest thing, and I go back and I say this, man, like, counseling's the biggest thing. If you have those inner demons, you got to deal with them. And then when you're comfortable, it's like, yeah, like, work out at the same time. But man, like, set that ego aside, set that envy aside, right? Everybody's running their own race. It's like, like, when I started working out, man, I was 110 pounds. I was a skinny kid, you know, I used to skateboard, used to, like, you know, hang out with my friends, I go out drinking, whatever, right? Like, I lived that lifestyle, man, and then I made that change because I didn't want to do that anymore, but I made the change for me, and that's why I excelled to being the person that I am with like sponsorships and, you know, all these other opportunities that are opening up for me, man, because I didn't limit myself to what I know I could do, but I knew I had to solve certain things within inside of me before I could excel. And, you know, I keep learning every year, man. You know, you have those, life will always throw you curveballs, man. Always understand that. Life will always throw you a curveball, and it sees how you react to it, man. And when it comes down to it, it just say you're in the gym and then you get a call and, you know, your mom passed away or something like that, man. You know, that's all like curveball stuff, man. And the one thing you got to realize is like how you address that, how you address those problems, because life, never give up on what you're doing. It's like never, and I don't take away that from, like, say your mom did pass away, you got that call in the gym, you know, like I don't take away from that. I just say, like, you know, never forget who you are, because there's only one you. If you set yourself to having that victim mindset where it's like, oh, this person got given everything, or this person got given this. Hey, guess what, man? Yeah, some people are born that way. Some people have good genetics. Some people are whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, man, be happy for that person. Don't be envious for that person. Don't be like judging people. Don't do any of that, man. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like
everybody's got a story.
100%.
Everybody's got a story. And that's the biggest issue, that people need to understand, that everybody comes from horrible backgrounds. People come from very horrible, traumatic instances, and then they bring that to the gym, they bring that to their environment that they're in, but however, they don't recognize it as a problem. And I'm glad that you did say, go out and reach for counseling, go out and actually talk to your demons and face those problems, because the success of you trying to be successful within the gym is by cleaning up your mental mindset and actually cleaning up who you are as a person outside of the gym. You could be a great athlete inside of the gym, you can perform great in your caliber and your art, but I think that in order to really make it to the top, you got to really focus on that mental health aspect, because if you don't, it's just gonna go fucking downhill, like very fucking quick.
Oh yeah,
right?
100%,
and
man.
I'm just
100%.
like holy fuck, man, like
whoever's out there running the show, man, I really believe, you know, they just want people to run that 9 to 5, go to the gym, go on the treadmill 25 minutes, look around, do some weights, and like whatever, like not really have a passion, but like live this like mediocre life, man. And, you know, as hard as it is, man, it's like I do truly believe that, you know, you have to dig inside you and find that passion inside of you, because everything else is fighting against you, man. Everything else is fighting against you, and never forget that. Never get comfortable in life. Always keep going. When you start from a certain point and then you just like give up because, hey, I'm comfortable, man. Like I said, I got the white picket fence life, and then later on life throws you that curveball and you're not ready for it. It's like, well, guess what, man? Like that's really on you, right? That like have that victim mindset. They don't know how to like harden their mind and deal with what they got to deal with, right? And accept it, hold themselves accountable. I think one of the biggest things I tell people, life coaching them and stuff, it's just kind of like hold yourself accountable, man. If you actually need to hold yourself accountable, man, and see how you're going to address the issue.
Do you find that people that are in the industry forget these traits, or when they are in a certain status?
100%, man. And you know what? I was talking to my buddy in the gym about this just yesterday, actually, and I said, hey, man, I'm like, you know what, dude? It's like at the end of the day, there's too many people out there that that live this life where they're just like, I need to make sure everybody knows who I am. It's like, you know, I walk in a room and like I just want to be the loudest, you know, big showy person. It's like, no, man. It's like one thing I learned early on is I want to be that quiet guy that walks into a room but everybody recognizes me. You know what I mean? And it's not like being like cocky or like cloudy or whatever. It's like people recognize you for that hustle. People recognize you because you're always in there putting in work. People don't recognize you because it's like, oh yeah, you're posting up this or that, whatever. They find out who you are, or like how many followers you are or whatever, and then that's why they're judging their character, where it's like where you want to be judged for your hard work. And I think that's one big thing about mental health, man, is when people start focusing you based on your online avatar. People don't judge you for you. For you, it's like they're like the online avatar. It's like what people don't understand. It's like, hey, man, anybody can throw up that Sears catalog photo where you're smiling and you know everything is okay. It's like every photo, everything is okay. It's like, hey, man, you know, there's a lot of people dealing with a lot of stuff, but the thing is, they take it out on other people. They have that victim mindset, and they don't know how to move forward in life, man.
What's something that really motivates you in the gym, and what motivates you in your day-to-day life?
You know what, man? I think the best way to stay motivated is have people around you that uplift you, man. Like, if you're following any type of content, like, don't follow, like, these, like, fake-agram people that, like I said, man, that have that, like really fake lifestyle, like that overly done, like, it doesn't seem like super authentic,
Not
like
genuine.
It's just not genuine. It's like and I know that sounds like to some people like a load, but I mean, it's like you can easily weed those people out, man. You know, and the problem is we give too much attention to this, like, fake-agram life, you know what I mean? To the people who are living the extreme fake-agram life. Like, then you just, like, develop this culture where it's, like, jealousy, envious, this, that, and it's just, like, people just become really fucked, man. And, you know, and that's why it's, like, whenever, like, I'm in the gym, sometimes, like, I really listen to, like, David Goggins' podcasts, too, and, you know, whenever he says, like, fuck people, man, it's, like, don't fuck everybody. It's more than the sense where it's like worrying about the noise, stop worrying about the bullshit, focus on yourself, man, because that's it. Don't, like, you know, but
keep that drive and move forward.
Yeah.
And keep pushing yourself, right? What type of regimen would you recommend them, like being a new athlete?
I'd say, like, anybody looking at getting into competing, man, I would say the number one thing is do your research, man. Too many people are like, you know, do your research, man.
Do your research.
Do your research. It's like, find out what works for you, because what works for me won't work for you. But what I can tell people, what works for everybody is, you know, research, you know, find some exercises that work for you, you know, start off like a couple days a week. You don't have to lift the heaviest weight in the gym. You know, I know a lot of these professional athletes, you know, you see their videos of them like pushing like heavy ass weight, right? But behind the scenes, man, they're not pushing heavy ass weight. They just put that video up just so, you know, they get the views, they get the whatever, right?
And it's keep their image, right? And at the end of the day, right, like, they've been lifting for over 10 years, probably even longer.
Yeah.
And that's probably a reason why they're lifting way more.
Yeah,
way
man.
More, right? So you gotta pace yourself. You gotta set those small goals for yourself, right? And I think my recommendation is, anyways, also when it comes to this, is like creating small goals for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Create those small goals, and every single day you'll get better and better and better, right?
Yeah.
Because people are just like, I want to get to the top. I want to have 1 million followers. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, that's great and all, but, you know, in the real world, you gotta take one step at a time, and you gotta really make realistic expectations.
Yeah.
And I think people just don't no longer have that mindset, being like, hey, I actually have to work for something.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta actually, like, put the time and effort for me and love who I am to be able to do this, right? A lot of the time people rush their own feelings to try to get their own success based on other people. And it could be basically your parents pushing you to do something.
Yeah.
It could be a totally fake aspect of yourself. Meaning that, like, you know, like, am I actually this type of person? And if I'm not, I need to fix that.
Yeah.
And you need to make those small goals. And only we can tell you to do those goals, right? We can only tell you to start making those small goals. So, like, for example, if you want to be fit, you want to lose 10 pounds. Maybe the first week you start off working out 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
You do that for like 2 weeks. Then the next goal is you're going to go to the gym another day. And then you keep adding another day. And you keep adding and adding and adding.
And you know what, man? I'm going to add one point to that, too. This is another recommendation for people. Some people might disagree to agree. Yeah. But please do not post up every other day. You just started in the gym. You got second day, you're putting up photo. Third day, photo. Fourth day, photo. It's like, that's not how it works. Because at the end of the day, you're just proving to me that you're not doing it for you. You just learn, like, ways to, like, vet people and stuff like that, like, versus, like, authenticity versus, like, people that are telling you the raw answer. You know, anybody I've ever talked to in the gym, I give them the raw answers. I give them the real answers. I give them the answers that nobody else will tell them, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like the personal trainer trap, right? It's like they always want to keep you in that loop of training. They always want to keep making that money because that's how they're getting paid, right? They keep you in that loop, man, for the most part, right? I'm not saying that's every personal trainer. I'm saying, you know what I mean, those big box gyms and stuff like that.
I know what you mean, right? Yeah, there's a certain marketing aspect to it. And the biggest lesson is, you know, if you're going to be on social media, if you're going to try to take selfies, you're going to try to do those things, just make sure you're in the right place at the right time.
And I think the biggest thing too is just because you see everybody else doing it doesn't mean you need to do it right away. Just too many people aren't being more logical when it comes to this. When I started, it's like I didn't have like Instagram when I first started like bodybuilding. I wasn't uploading crap. It's like I wasn't doing any of that, man. I was just in it because I had somebody who inspired me to get into the gym and not give a fuck, right? And this is before like the David Goggins culture and stuff, right? Like there's a bodybuilder from Australia named Ziz, and I think a lot of people know who he is. And he's one of the guys that inspired me, and it literally was to set my mind to not giving a fuck. Do whatever you want to do in life, man. Do what makes you happy and just go with it. It's like, don't do stuff because like it makes other people happy. Don't upload that photo because, you know, it'll give you a billion views or likes. Don't just work out because, you know, and upload a photo and be like, man, did I get that another 1,000 followers or whatever? You know what I mean? It's like, people need to stop looking at it like that. It's like, do it for fucking you. And is that hard to ask? You know what I mean?
Spot on.
Yeah. Is that hard to ask? It's like, hey man, I know, or like it's like cars, for example. We're talking about cars earlier, man, and it was I had this one guy in my car, and he was like, oh yeah, how much did your car cost, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got a good deal on it. But the thing is, though, man, is like when it comes down to it, that's not what matters. It matters that, you know, you must have this car because you enjoy cars. You know what I mean? Or you must be in the gym this much because you enjoy in the gym.
You love doing what you do.
You love doing what you do. And it's not because like, oh, well, it's like this is what gets me all the chicks. This is what gets me this. It's literally not about that, man. It's about running your own fucking race. And the sad thing is, though, is if people don't start running their own race, you're gonna end up like a majority of what these Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids are going to end up. And it's not anywhere good. It's literally, they call it the Lost Boys generation, man. Literally, they call it the Lost Boy generation. People have zero direction. And the direction that people are getting pushed in is literally like the direction where it's one against the other, all over the place. And it's just like frustrating when people should be focusing on like the main thing. It's like, what makes you happy? You know, I'm not against the people out here like doing like social justice stuff, like by any means, but I'm saying like, man, like, are you doing this just to like, you know, because you're frustrated with yourself or something, you know what I mean? Or like you're frustrated about whatever. Life's gonna play out the way life's gonna play out. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, whatever's meant to happen in life will happen. And for anybody who says otherwise, it's like, please tell me you know the future plan, like what's gonna happen the next minute. You can't. It's like life plays out the way it plays out.
Thank you so much for like taking the time to explain everything and to actually like be real and show me real content, right? And really understanding that, you know, the only person that can start change is by us, and by us enforcing the fact that it's you that can make that difference. It's you that can really drive your own success. And if you don't do that for yourself, nobody's going to do it for you. He's reached his dreams and his goals and his attributes because he threw himself. He put the time and effort to really become the man he wants to be. And he believed in it to the point where he said, you know what? No, you know what? I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on the time for me. And every time when he did that, he executed his goals. And that's why I had this interview with him. This is why I want to talk to him. This is why I want to spend that time to really share what he has to offer, because he is a great man. He's really great at executing goals and completing tasks. This is the type of people that really help our society in a lot of great ways. A lot of people don't have this leadership anymore. Not a lot of people want to wake up and say, hey, I want to fucking do this for me. I want to do this for my life. And nobody else wants to put in the time. That's the number one issue, is you don't want to put in time. And I think at the end of the day, that's an excuse. I think you should put in the time for yourself always and love who you are. And it's great for you to actually share this and actually tell me, hey, no, this is how you actually do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
man.
It's super easy. It's super easy and it's very justifiable. And this is why I do this channel. I try to provide alternative health methods for people to be successful within their day-to-day life. And if you follow this trick, follow this tip and advice from Julian, and you listen to what he has to offer, put that time into yourself. Don't play the name card in your head and say that you're this person that you're not. And don't try to play the victim card, and actually try to put in the confidence in yourself. I'm telling you right now, you're going to find a lot of fucking results. You're going to find a lot of drive, and you're going to find a lot of good values about yourself that you maybe didn't determine before, because now challenging yourself, there's opportunities. I'd like to thank you so much for talking on my show and talking to me and having the privilege. It was a privilege.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, dude.
I'm glad that you were so real about everything, right? We need more bodybuilders and professional athletes like yourself that are willing to come to the public and say, hey, you know, this is how you actually make it. This is not them selling a product. This is not them saying, hey, this is what I have to offer. Instead, you're offering people ways of how to be successful within physical health. And I thank you so much.
No, man, Ryan, like I said, dude, like when you you got a hold of me for the podcast, man, I was like, and I seen what you were doing, and I, listened to some of your other material. I was like, man, I'm like, you know what, you're doing a really great thing, right? And the thing is, though, is that in what I want, like yourself and like anybody else listening to this to take away from this, man, is like, really, man, like run your own race, love everybody around you. You know what I mean? Like we're in this together, man. Like, we have one life, we have this one world, man, and it's just sad to see like, everybody kind of like going against each other. You can be the one person that can make the difference, just like yourself. Like doing this podcast, you're making the difference. But just like me, man, everybody, like as long as you're making that dent in the universe, it's like my dent in the universe is in the gym, and anybody who comes across my path. And I've met like a shit ton of people, man, and I've inspired a lot of people. But the thing is, I always kept humble, man. It's like never forget your roots, man. Never forget where you came from. Look back at your past, man, but be thankful that happened. Don't be a victim. Be thankful that happened, and use that as leverage to push yourself to do better, and always do better, man. Never think you cannot do something. If you can come out from the East Coast and I can come out from the East Coast with like nothing, clothes on our back or whatever.
But it's true though. Like, what I mean? Like we both grew up from Toronto, and we started off in a backpack. I can relate to you on so many levels. And now we're living this success.